All right, so moving on to the final segment. I'll be sharing my thoughts on Ezekiel Elliott being released from the Dallas Cowboys organization. So Thursday, the news broke out that the former fourth overall pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, Ezekiel Elliott, has been released from his contract, ending his 7-year tenure that he had in Dallas, and he has officially been released by the Dallas Cowboys. So to break this down for an update of what's going to happen with the contract for Zeke, the Cowboys will still be paying Ezekiel Elliott all the way up until June 1st. Once that point happens, the Dallas Cowboys will have $27 million in free cap space after releasing Ezekiel Elliott, but it won't be effective until June 2nd. So I'm pretty sure that the money's going to go to these young, talented players that the Dallas Cowboys have. The guys that contracts are coming up very soon. They're going to have to re-sign CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons. They're going to have to re-sign Tony Pollard if they want to keep him along long term as well. So I'm pretty sure Zeke's contract that we'll be getting and free and cap that will free up some cap space and worth 27 million will be going to these contracts of players that we have to sign very soon. But I believe it was the right move for the Dallas Cowboys to move on from Ezekiel Elliott. I don't believe that Zeke was worth the money at this particular point of his career anymore. He was a $90 million running back, which he's not worth the price at this particular point of his career. We have obviously seen a star born in Dallas, a former fourth-round pick from Memphis, and Tony Pollard, who was really known for being a return specialist, has now taken over as the main running back for the Dallas Cowboys. It's not rocket science. Tony Pollard has been the best running back in terms of receiving yards, rushing yards. He's been the more explosive back for the Dallas Cowboys for the last 2 seasons. So to me, this does not come as a surprise that Ezekiel Elliott has been released for the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Pollard is just more fast. He just has that more burst, gets more yards. He's just more effective in big-time game situations than what Ezekiel Elliott brings to the table in his career right now. Now, I'm not going to lie, as a Dallas Cowboys fan, it is really sad to watch my boy Zeke be released. He will no longer be a Dallas Cowboy. I really wish in a perfect world he could retire as a Dallas Cowboy, but I don't think that's going to happen. My guys out there know, my co-hosts know as well, how much I still love Ezekiel Elliott. I have had several Dallas Cowboy plaques that I still have to this day. They see my plaques. I've had the rookie card of Ezekiel Elliott. I had the senior card of his last year at Ohio State. I've always loved Ezekiel Elliott. I have countless jerseys of Ezekiel Elliott as well. It's sad because you wish that his prime didn't end so fast because he's been a true cornerstone of the franchise since 2016 when he was drafted. Him and Dak Prescott have become the new building blocks for this franchise since 2016, and they've taken over since. It's sad to see it because prime Ezekiel Elliott was truly special to watch. He was a former two-time rushing champion, a three-time Pro Bowler, two-time All-Pro in the NFL. And his career rushing yards, he has 8,262 career rushing yards. He has 80 rushing touchdowns in his career, and he has 305 catches. Not pretty shabby for your first 7 NFL seasons in the NFL if you're Ezekiel Elliott. You got nothing to be ashamed of, and you should be nothing but proud because you're one of the best running backs in Dallas Cowboys history. Within his first 3 seasons, I believe there was no better running back than Ezekiel Elliott. You can have the conversation at that time when Zeke was in his prime, when he had running backs of Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, all in their prime when Ezekiel Elliott was in their prime. Respectfully, I didn't mean to phrase it like that. King Henry and Saquon Barkley are still in their primes. But these were the elite running backs when Ezekiel Elliott was in his prime. I just don't see anybody. You can have a debate. You can have a conversation all you want. Ezekiel Elliott was the better running back at that time. It shows he was back-to-back. He was a back-to-back rushing champion. He hit the hole better than anybody else. He was more explosive when he touched the football. You could have the counter argument that the Dallas Cowboys' offensive line was unstoppable back in 2016, 2017, 2018. But Ezekiel Elliott was the one getting the ball, and once the ball is in your hands, you're the playmaker that does the work. You do the dirty work. And Ezekiel Elliott, nobody hit the hole better than Ezekiel Elliott. Nobody had that great open space than Ezekiel Elliott. Nobody had that burst of energy like Ezekiel Elliott. His speed and athleticism in his first 2 to 3 seasons were unmatched, and I believe he was the best running back in the league. But the downfall of Ezekiel Elliott, the truth about Ezekiel Elliott, once he got that big contract in 2019 before the season started, remember he held out, was training in Mexico. He held out. And once he got that contract, all that speed, all that athleticism, all that burst of energy, all went out the window. Ezekiel Elliott officially hit a wall in his career. I thought he would recover from the 2019 season, and it just didn't get better for him moving forward as to still be one of the best running backs in the National Football League. He wasn't the same player that he once was. I think what truly happened to Zeke, I believe the fire that was lit during his first 3 seasons, once he got the contract, it went away. Another reason, he played through a lot of injuries, which he shouldn't have. But he was a team first. He was a team guy. He was a team player. He wanted to do everything it took for the Dallas Cowboys to collect wins over the years. That his workload was way too high his first 2 to 3 seasons. There was never a true second string running back that could help Ezekiel Elliott take the workload off of him. I believe Alfred Morris was there for years. That, from what I remember. He always needed a backup partner in order for him for his prime years to keep going. Once he kept touching the ball over 300 times, 330 times in the first 2-3 seasons, it was just too much. The workload became too heavy for him. And it just shows that running backs just don't last long in the NFL. Your prime years really don't last long in the league. But I will always love Zeke. Like I just said, he always played through injuries. He left behind a lot of great members for me being a Dallas Cowboys fan, watching his prime, watching him for his first 7 years in his career in Dallas. And he's been a key locker room leader for this Dallas Cowboys team. Like I touched on, him and Dak Prescott were drafted in the same draft class and became the building blocks for this Dallas Cowboys roster. And I would truly miss Ezekiel Elliott. I wish in a perfect world it could work for Zeke being the backup running back to Tony Pollard, but with the contract and Jerry Jones' ego, that was just never going to happen. And Zeke, his prime, I saw a stat after the playoffs. I don't believe I ever touched on it on a podcast. During the second half of the NFL season, Ezekiel Elliott actually touched the ball 80 times. With getting handoffs 80 times, and I actually only had 200. No, I believe he had 210, 212 rushing yards with 80 attempts, and that's not good. It was just time for him to go. But I still do believe that Ezekiel Elliott can contribute elsewhere. I do believe there is gas left in his gas tank. His days of being a number one running back are over, obviously. But he could be a key short yardage running back. He could be a second string running back anywhere in the National Football League. I think the landing spots for Ezekiel Elliott at this particular time is the Buffalo Bills, who need a running back to team up with James Cook after they lost Devin Singletary, who signed with the Houston Texans. The Cincinnati Bengals could use him as well. I believe him and Joe Mixon could be a good duo out there in Cincinnati at the running back position. And it hurts me to say it, but the Philadelphia Eagles would make Ezekiel Elliott look like $1 million all over again. They have one of the best offensive lines in football. They just watched Miles Sanders sign with the Carolina Panthers. Rashard Penny is there, but I'm not really a big believer in Rashard Penny. I believe that Ezekiel Elliott, if he goes to the Eagles, they'll make him look like $1 million behind that offensive line. Make him look like the 2016, 17, 18 Ezekiel Elliott of the past. But those are my thoughts on Zeke being released. I do believe he still can contribute elsewhere. It's going to be sad to see him go as a Dallas Cowboys fan. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Tom Sirey, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.